I still climb stairs without holding the railing. At 73, my doctor takes a photo of my leg scan every year. Not because something's wrong, because he shows it to other doctors. People ask me what I eat. They want the supplement, the protein shake, the specific vegetable. I understand. I used to ask the same questions, but I spent 15 years watching people do everything right. The collagen powders, the resistance bands, the perfect macros, and their legs still gave out by 68. And I spent just as long watching people do almost nothing by the book, and they're still walking up hills at 80. So I started paying attention to the difference, not what they ate, what they were. My name is Dorothy. I'm 73 years old. I taught physical education for 31 years. I've watched more bodies age than most doctors have. And what I'm about to tell you, nobody put in any textbook I ever read. Yes, I'll give you the list. You came here for something practical, and I respect that. I walk every morning. Not fast, not slow, just continuous. 30 minutes, same route, same shoes. I've had Resolve twice. I do bodyweight squats, not 50, not with weights. Just 12, slow, controlled. Like I mean each one. I eat protein at every meal. Not obsessively, an egg, some fish, a handful of beans. Real food, not engineered food. I sleep 7 hours. I don't negotiate with that number. I don't drink much. I never smoked. I take no supplements except vitamin D because I live in a place where the sun disappears for 5 months a year, and that is simply a geographic reality. There. That's the list. Write it down if you want. But if I stop there, you'll leave thinking, you now know something, and you won't, because the list is real, and the list is also almost beside the point. I had a colleague, Eleanor, taught anatomy at the same school for 28 years. Brilliant woman, knew the musculoskeletal system the way a pianist knows a keyboard. Not just the theory, the feel of it. She could tell you exactly which muscle fires first when you stand from a chair. She could explain sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss, in terms that made you understand it in your bones. She prescribed the correct exercises. She followed them herself. By 66, she was using a cane. I used to drive her home after staff meetings in her last years. One evening, I finally asked her, "Eleanor, you know more about this than anyone. What happened?" She was quiet for a while, watching the street go by. Then she said, "I kept the muscles, Dorothy. I just lost the reason to use them." Eleanor passed at 71, sharp mind until the end. Body that gave up while she still had things to say. The knowledge was never the problem. She had more knowledge than 10 of me. But knowledge of the body is not the same as living inside one. When I retired from teaching, my husband Gerald said something I didn't want to hear. He said, "You're going to have to find something that needs you, or you're going to fade." I thought that was cruel. I'd given 31 years. I deserved to rest. So I rested. 3 months, then 4. I walked, yes. I did my squats, yes. I checked every box on my own list, and I was still shrinking somehow. Not physically, something else. My granddaughter Clara was 7 at the time. She used to visit on Saturdays. One afternoon she asked me to chase her in the yard, and I actually thought, I don't know if I should. I might fall. I might look foolish. I had become a woman who was afraid to chase a 7-year-old. That was the morning I understood what Gerald meant. I chased Clara. I didn't fall. I was out of breath and I laughed, really laughed, for the first time in months. And something in my legs remembered what they were for. Here's what nobody tells you about muscle loss after 60. It's not just about protein. It's not just about exercise frequency. It's about demand. The body is ruthless and intelligent. It does not maintain what it doesn't believe it needs. And if your life sends the signal, day after day, that nothing is required of you, that no terrain needs crossing, no child needs chasing, no garden needs tending, no stairs need climbing, because you've arranged your life to avoid all of that, the body begins to comply. It starts letting go, not out of cruelty, out of efficiency. I have seen this in students, athletes who retired and were unrecognizable in 4 years, not because they stopped exercising. Some of them didn't, but because they stopped needing their bodies for anything that felt real. The legs that last longest are the legs that believe they still have somewhere to go. After Clara in the yard, I started making a list of a different kind. Not what to eat, what to do that needed my body. Every Tuesday, I walk to the farmer's market, 40 minutes each way. I carry the bags myself, not because I need to prove something, because the weight in my hands on the way home is a kind of conversation between me and my body. We did this. We're still doing this. I have a neighbor, Frank, 81 years old, infuriating man, argues with me about everything. Every Thursday morning I walk to his porch, and we disagree about something for 45 minutes. I walk there fast because I'm always slightly annoyed before I arrive. Frank is part of my exercise program. He just doesn't know it. I babysit Clara. She's 19 now and she'd hate that word. But she still calls me when she needs to talk through something. And I sit on the floor with her like I always did, because sitting on the floor and getting up from it is one of the most functional things a body can do. And I refuse to give it up. Small things, specific, slightly ridiculous, completely mine. But my legs know every single one of them. Gerald passed 4 years ago. I won't spend long here because grief is private, and also because you already understand what it means to lose the person who knew your whole life. What I will say is this. The morning after his funeral, I woke up and my legs hurt in a way they hadn't in years. Not injury, not soreness, something else. Like they were uncertain whether there was any point. I recognized that feeling. I had felt it in students, the ones who got injured, and then stayed injured far longer than the injury required, because something in them had quietly agreed to stop. I didn't let myself stay in bed. Not because I was strong, because I knew exactly what staying meant, and I'd taught enough bodies to know that the ones that stop asking their legs to work very quickly get their wish. I got up. I made tea. I went to the yard. I pulled one weed, then another. I walked 12 minutes, not 12. I called my daughter. I did not perform recovery. I just refused to make that day the first day of stopping. And the next morning, the legs hurt a little less. And the morning after that, less still. I have to tell you something I don't always say because it's uncomfortable. Part of this is genetics. My mother walked to the post office until she was 84. My aunt danced at her granddaughter's wedding at 79. I was born with joints that have, so far, been forgiving. I could tell you it's all discipline, that everything I've described is replicable for anyone, exactly as I've done it. But that would be a story, not the truth. The truth is, the practices matter, and the body you started with matters, and the losses you've been handed matter, and the luck of what didn't happen to you matters. Anyone who gives you a complete formula for a strong body at 73 with no footnotes is selling something. What I can tell you is what I've seen in 31 years of watching bodies, and in 47 years of living in mine. My name is Dorothy. I'm 73 years old. This morning I walked to Frank's porch in 22 minutes flat. Slightly faster than usual because he'd sent me a message I disagreed with. My legs are strong because they still have arguments to win, grandchildren to follow, markets to walk to, floors to sit on, weeds to pull, stairs to climb, without apology. They are strong because I never let them forget what they are for. The real secret is not what you put into your body. It's what you ask your body to show up for. Find something that needs your legs, and then go there. Every day. Even on the days when the chair is easier. Especially on those days. Because a body that believes it's needed will fight to stay in the fight longer than any supplement ever could.